What it means is the storm is extremely strong, goes all the way up to the jet stream level, and then it has to kind of spread out is what it's basically doing. But out here in Topeka, dry so far. The severe storm getting into Wabaunsee County, and the new warning just issued does include Wabaunsee County. Junction City has been raining for easily more than an hour. We have winds gusting 70 miles per hour with this, and a hail about the size of golf balls. And you notice the storm has not moved very far at all. Out ahead of it, I want to show you the camera what it looks like out ahead of this from the WIBW transmission tower. If I can bring it up there, but that shows a pretty good look at the base of this storm. So if it produces anything dangerous or tornadic, we'll have a look at it. I'm not sure why it's not coming up there. I can certainly bring it back up with the other view here, and I will, because I do want to see that. So let me jump ahead here, and I'm going to show you that that camera view from WIBW transmission tower. Again, is near Maple Hill, and I can see the base of this storm very well. So if this was to produce a tornado or get close to it, we'd be able to see it pretty easily. There you go, the rain-free base over here, right beside the very heavy rain, the hail and all that's going to be on this side. If it was going to produce something that was spinny or tornado-like, or a tornado itself, it would be over in this area. So we're watching that part of the storm extremely closely. Of course, there are more storms that are forming along the cold front that extends all the way up into close to Seneca at this time, and I do expect to see more storms becoming severe in those areas. I'm kind of turning this camera, this near Maple Hill or transmission tower, against a couple miles southwest of Maple Hills where it's located. I don't see anything suspicious there at this point, but the storm overall is very powerful. It's shown rotation over and over again. And the chance of it producing a tornado, I'd say, is greater than 50-50. I'm not saying big tornado, I'm not trying to scare you, but, in this situation, it does have enough rotation to it that this thing certainly could produce a tornado. We still have plenty of heat energy in place. Look at this. We've got a heat index of 111 in Council Grove right now, 104 in Topeka, where it has been raining already. In Abilene, Manhattan, actually, the temperature is currently 73 degrees. So I'm going to go back and look at that camera again, and I'm just really going to be watching this thing closely that's coming through Wabaunsee County, because it's by far the most dangerous thing out there. And this feature is suspicious. This is not a tornado, but it looks like it's feeding the warm humid air into the storm. That may be a beaver tail we're looking at there coming into it. And again, that's going to be the part of the storm that's the most dangerous. So this is going to be kind of the west part of Wabaunsee County is where we're actually looking there. And if this was to produce a tornado, that's going to be where it would be. Again, we have the tornado watch going until 11 p.m. for just about all of northeast Kansas. And I'm going to be watching all these very close. But that's the one I'm the most concerned about right now. And I'm just so focused on it. I'm having a little trouble even jumping off to something else, because that thing just looks so dangerous at this point. So there's the radar. That's our Capitol Federal Live Storm Tracker. And what you'll see here is, if you just look at Junction City, this is an hour of radar. So an hour ago it was raining heavy. Right now it's raining heavy. It's been pouring, just absolutely pouring in Junction City for an hour. There's probably 2 or 3 inches of rain that's fallen there. And I believe there's a flash flood warning that's been issued there in Junction City. The winds are gusting as high as 70 miles per hour. I'm going to check out the rainfall amount over the last couple of hours, and there is a flash flood warning there, as you can see there. I'm going to read the text on this and just see if it's a high-end flash flood warning or if it's the standard wording on this. Sometimes if you have a catastrophic thing, they'll go higher language on this. So what do we have? 2 to 3 inches of rain has already fallen, another inch possible. Flash flooding ongoing. And I don't see any reports of anybody hurt or anything like that at this point, thankfully. But that is the area where we've seen just absolute downpours. All right, so your rotation I was showing you just a moment ago from the weather camera is going to be this area kind of over here. And we're looking from near Maple Hill over to this area right about there. So if this thing was to produce a tornado, that's the area that I am the most concerned about. Doesn't mean you can't have one pop up someplace else, But what I'm saying is just that's the area that's the most obvious that could cause a problem. And I'm going to have to, speaking of problems, I'm going to have to reset that camera. I've got the link in there appears to be broken where I can take it out of the map and just bring it up instantly from the map. So I have to work on that later, but not right now. So let's go back and check out that camera again. This is the view looking from the transmission tower near Maple Hill. This is a couple of 100 feet up the tower, so I can see for a long way. As a matter of fact, I can see a long way with many of these cameras. We saw the Westmoreland tornado from 30 miles. I was just amazed how far we saw that. So in this case, this storm is well over 10 miles away from this camera, and that cloud you see is detached from the bottom of the storm. So that's not a tornadic situation or something dangerous. Those are scud clouds, but that is the right area to be watching this thing if it were to produce something dangerous or higher end. All right, that's the view from Council Grove. Now I'm going to check out the view along I-70. I want to see how heavy this rain is falling in and around Junction City. A few minutes ago the cameras were dead, and that happens sometimes. And you can see there on the left side of your screen, I'll step back out there again. And I don't know what this is over here, but that looks like there's running water over there just south of I-70. So you're going to have some flash flooding there. The ditches are full. You can see down here in this shot. That's I-70 at the US 77. And look at this. Wow, look at all the water there right along I-70 at the Milford exit. It's looked like this for more than an hour at that Milford exit. That's not far from having the ditch come out onto the interstate. There could be water out on the road. So if you've got to travel this evening, I would absolutely stay off Interstate 70 near Junction City right now. That water is just about to come up on the interstate there. You know, I'm not saying I'm trying not to overstate it, but I mean you could see it right. You could see it as well as I could that ditch on the side of the road is just about to come up over the road. There's Auburn Road in Topeka, on the west side of Topeka, and it's calm so far in Topeka, just hot and humid. That's the view from Council Grove watching the same supercell storm. And here's how it looks on the radar again. We have the severe storm warning going till 7:15. Hail the size of quarters is now mentioned with this. Wind gusts to 70 miles per hour, and that's the part that's for Geary and Riley. As we go farther to the east here, you're going to see the storm that's in Wabaunsee County. It includes Geary and Wabaunsee County. Let's scoot that one over so we can get it. This one goes to 70 mile per hour winds and hail about the size of a $50, moving toward Volland, moving toward Alma, and that does have a lot of spin with it. And zooming out on this, there is an outflow boundary right here. Outflow boundaries tend to shut down tornado potential. So if you are behind the outflow boundary, your chance of a tornado is very low. Just right ahead of it, Volland, Alma, the tornado risk is still just fine. Over to Maple Hill, Paxico, the tornado risk there still exists. But if you are just behind these outflow boundaries, it can recover after time. But generally, if you have one of those come through, it will decrease the tornado risk dramatically. To the north, we have new warnings being issued along the line. I mentioned this a few minutes ago. Along the cold front, this activity was popping up. This was showing up a little bit on the 6 o'clock news, and now it's fully developed. You have a severe storm in Marshall and Pottawatomie County. Hail about the size of a $50 is possible with this part of the storm, and that's moving to the east. And I'm keeping an eye on that thing from Wabaunsee County as well. So Wheaton, Westmoreland, Onega, you should be watching this. Stay inside as it passes. This is not a tornado warning. This has got hail the size of $50 and winds to 60. That's the current report for this, is what they're saying is a possibility with this. So checking out hail on here, this area of white over Oldsburg is most likely where the heaviest or the largest of the hail would be at this time. So Wheaton, Westmoreland, you're likely to see some hail moving in or at least close to you very shortly, as well as extremely heavy rain. And I'm going to watch this to see if it's got spin with it. There's some small areas of spin that are not super impressive at this time, but certainly could produce, we could see it intensify. And I don't want over scare anybody here with this, but we're watching all these things just in case. All right, I'm going to back up to the first frame again. I think it's going to be the best way for me to show this camera tonight since I need to fix it later after hours. This is the area that I'm the most concerned about. That is that area that's had lowering with this several times. When it was closer to Chapman earlier, you could have made a case to say it was a funnel cloud at one point, but this is the part of that most powerful storm that would have the highest chance of producing a tornado if one was going to happen. So right there on the right side, you can see the very heavy rain right behind me. Let me scoot this over, you can see it better. There we go. So there's the very heavy rain. There's the rain-free base. We're going to be watching this area here to see if anything suspicious starts to drop down from that cloud. And so far, so good. But it did produce funnel clouds earlier from what I saw. Now checking out the radar, Capital Federal Live Storm Tracker. Got to watch this. That thing just right along the southern Geary County line. Not sure if that's a new developing storm or what that might be. I don't think that's anything higher end. Now looking at the rotation on this, there's still several areas of spin in this, and just overall you're seeing very strong winds feeding up toward the Fort Riley area, showing up. Some of that's going to be higher levels in the atmosphere. I'm going to check out the storm spotter reports here if we can. I think I turned off the interactive toolbar so I could move around there. All right, so let's check out what we've got there for the storm reports. And some spots have already had damaging winds. There we go. So just west of Manhattan, all around Junction City. Look at all these reports. We've got flash flooding there. We've got a report there of some hail. We've got reports of wind near Grandview Plaza. And those are going to be, let's see what we've got here. That's 70 miles per hour. There's another one there that's 64 miles per hour. The hail size there's one that's 1 inch diameter. And how about the flooding report? What do you got? They're saying there. Numerous folks being rescued there due to water running across a road there. So a very dangerous situation with some folks being rescued around Junction City due to the extreme flooding that's ongoing, and still seeing the heavy rain falling there too. All right, new update coming in from the Weather Service here. Let's read that to you. What do we got? All right, National Weather Service says Geary, Wabaunsee County, 70-mile-per-hour winds. Trained weather spotters have noticed this. 70-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail both have been reported with this severe storm. So that's what we've got now in Geary and Wabaunsee counties. And I'm going to find the biggest hail net right now and see where it's located on the radar. So again, from Maple Hill, I'm still watching that area because it's the most suspicious and the one that has the highest potential to produce a tornado if we were going to see one. All right, so zooming in more closer here, let's check out where the big hail is going to be. And we'll go into the hail tool here. And it looks like the biggest of the hail probably getting close to Volland at this point. Now, this is awfully close to the Doppler radar itself, so in many cases it has a hard time seeing above itself, which I know sounds kind of odd, but that's how it is with hail. So the hail near Volland could be bigger. This hail in Junction City is almost surely going to be significant. So I'm going to go to the KDOT camera here in Junction City. A few of them were offline earlier because of the extremely strong storm, and once in a while they do get knocked off by the wind and hail. And look at this. Yeah, here we go. Got big hail falling there in Junction City right now, and it's saying half dollar size hail is a possibility, and that looks pretty close to what I'm seeing there from that tower camera that's located on I-70 and US 77. That's the KDOT camera, is who provides that. Candrive.org is where you can see it. And look at this. There's that exit at Milford. And the water is running out onto I-70 there at exit 291. So that's not great. I'll see what happens to these cars when they come through here. Now, it's not deep enough that's going to make somebody, float away, but it's certainly running out onto the road there. So I-70 at Milford, exit 291. the water is definitely running out onto the road, and I am going to alert the Weather Service of that. All right, so that area is in the flash flood warning. Hey, Bridge, you guys hear me? Bridge, can you guys hear me in there? Is there a time I can go on, please? I'd like to do that. It's just whenever you can go on, just tell me go, and I'll start. All right, just a heads up, if you are traveling this evening across the area, I strongly encourage you to avoid I-70 near Junction City. This is the Milford exit, and you know, this isn't water deep enough that it's going to float a car away from what I'm seeing right here, but it could be worse in other places. But there's water running out onto I-70 right there at exit 291, the Milford exit on I-70. So there's a flash flood warning in place there. If you do have to travel, I would just stay out of that area right now. And if you're around Junction City and around the Milford exit, just stay home for a while. Looking at the last hour of radar, you can see it's been just pouring for 2 hours or so in that area. And the National Weather Service has issued a flash flood warning around Junction City where more than 3 inches of rain have already fallen. We have a severe storm warning that includes Junction City for 70-mile-per-hour winds. This storm getting over to the Volland and Alma area also has a possibility of winds to 60 or 70 miles per hour. And then zooming out, we have a severe storm warning in the northern parts of Pottawatomie County and the southeast part of Marshall County. It also has a possibility of 60 to 70 mile-per-hour winds. There are no tornado warnings this moment. This storm has been rotating, and we are live streaming on WIBW.com, Facebook, and YouTube continually. We'll break in on programming if we have major updates, of course. But watching the water run across I-70 there is a big deal. So if you're around Junction City, you need to stay off the roads if you can. And if you do have to be on the roads, be extremely cautious. Keep your TV right here. We'll keep you safe and informed. Okay. Thanks for staying with us here. I'll send an update here on social media, let people know what we're up to here. And it's just me in the office today, so if I'm not responsive to everything, I do apologize. I will do my best. Let's see. Hope that went where I wanted it to. All right, so let me make sure it went. I'm trying to share this live stream so people can find it. There we go. And we'll share this one more time here. If you are watching this on Facebook or YouTube, if you can share it, that helps us a lot, obviously. And something I've noticed on YouTube, and I'm going to start causing a little more trouble with this, just so you know. there are several folks that are streaming weather on YouTube now that they're not meteorologists, they're just weather enthusiasts or whatever, and some of them are great at what they do, but they don't. Some of these folks are using weather cameras that belong to TV stations like they're their own. I saw somebody doing that for this market today. It wasn't one of our cameras. You can guess whose camera it was, but it's really disheartening to see that, there's copyright violations and all that stuff. But I mean, you know how passionate I am about weather cameras and going to get them, getting them installed and being able to show them to you, all those things. But just so you know, if you're watching people on YouTube and they're using TV stations' weather cameras, it's very unlikely they have permission from those TV stations to do so. If you're looking at KDOT, CanDrive, Railfan, or whatever, there are some that that you can use. But if one is from from a TV station, it's very unlikely that one of us is going to say, "Oh, sure, go ahead and stream," coverage, trying the similar kind of thing. And by the way, you can go ahead and use our camera too. If they came to me and asked me that, I'm probably not going to be very nice about it. But here's a camera from I-70 at Highway 77 in Junction City, and you can see the strong winds there, most likely gusting in excess of 60 miles per hour right there in Junction City right now. If you do see those people, if you're talking to them on YouTube, let them know that I'm watching. I am. Not hard to find. So there's CanDrive right there at I-70 and US 77 looking to the east-southeast. And again, we have hail falling there in Junction City, and the winds are probably 60 to 70 miles per hour. We had reports of it 70 miles per hour a few minutes ago, but also just extremely heavy rain still falling there in Junction City with this. Now, as we zoom back out, this storm that's moving into Buncie County is the one that had the highest rotation showing up with it. That's the one that I was concerned could drop a tornado. I'm not saying will, but of the things to lean forward and worry about, that's the one. And it's getting close enough to the camera now. You can see how fast it's moving now. All right, so I'm going to go back to the very first frame here, and you can see that storm. Here it is. So we're looking to the west, almost straight west, from a WIBW transmission tower, and that is just to the southwest of Maple Hills where it's located. And this camera is amazing. We've had so many awesome things on this. And if we had somebody that was on YouTube, using my camera, using this one, I would actually throw a fit. This thing is just so valuable. And unless we can work together, great. But don't just take our stuff. But that's the storm. You can see how fast the rain bands are moving toward the camera, and I don't see the lowering like I did a minute ago. But if there was going to be a tornado in this, I've got it. It'd be moving right toward this camera. The other camera that's in the vicinity of that, and it's a little farther away, but because these things are on such nice high perches, you can see for a long way. I'm looking at it now from Council Grove. This is the Council Grove camera. The folks from TCT Broadband in Council Grove provide this one. Those folks are amazing. When we did the weather radio programming days, you guys remember I did 13 different locations. The folks at TCT Broadband were giving away the weather radios to their customers. This thing's like $40. They were giving them away. They're just amazing company. I'm thankful to have this partnership with them, to have the camera, but every time I've gotten a chance to work with the folks from TCT Broadband, they always impress me. They're just really great people, classy and great to talk to. Just a pleasure to do any sort of business with, or just to talk to them. They're amazing folks. All right, so here's the radar again. That's the most dangerous part of the storm. The rotating part is this thing going right over the radar right now, and it is not a tornado warning. I don't want to scare you about this, but I do want to let you know, if you are in the bigger population center, Topeka, within the next hour, we could have a severe storm warning in Topeka. It's possible. I don't want to say it'd be a tornado warning, but watching this right there, that outflow boundary, that skinny green line, that tends to shut down some of the heat and moisture that flow into these storms. So that's something that can be a benefit. Now, something else to watch here is that storm moving through Buncie County looks like it's weakening, right? Looks like, hey, this thing is just falling apart. That might not be the case. These radars, they can see out at an angle up to about 15, 20 degrees. But they don't see directly above themselves very well. So while it looks like the storm is kind of falling apart, it very well might be just fine. Let's check out the composite and see if the other radars, when they fill in, look like it's going away. And it's still showing the hole there where the actual National Weather Service Doppler radar is located. So, and this is the kind of thing, if you see this on somebody's YouTube feed and their Facebook, and they're saying, hey, look, there's a conspiracy, there's all these holes in the radar. That's where the radar is. It just can't see up. That's all it is. All right, so that's what's going on there. It looks like there's a hole in it, but that storm may or may not be losing its intensity. But from looking at it on the weather camera there from near Maple Hill, it's definitely a downpour, and it's moving fast. Let's check that out again. Let me go back to it, and you can see how fast this thing is streaking across the Kansas prairie. And I want to make sure that I am time-lapsing that, because that is awesome. Let's see. Bear with me just a moment here. Let's start this over. There you go. All right, so there's on the right side here, I'm going to bring up OBS. I'm going to record this is what I'm doing. Okay. Which is what a lot of the YouTube folks are doing, is they're just using OBS. And, you know, some use a green wall, some don't even bother. All right, so on the right side of the screen there, you can see the heavy rain streaking in and moving pretty quickly. But again, this does not look like anything is tornadic. It's really just, from looking at that, it's just kind of pretty, frankly. And looking out from Council Grove doesn't look to be too dangerous at this point. All right, so now, we're not taking our eye off this thing yet, because it did have rotation at several times. And I'm pretty sure that within the next hour, we will almost surely have a warning for Topeka. And if not a warning, then at least a strong storm moving in. So looking to the north, here's the storm that's near Westmoreland and Onega, and it's filling in a bit more. I want to check out the velocity on this. That thing is getting hooky just southwest of Wheaton right now. So that storm heading for areas like Onega, Wetmore, Circleville. That is a severe thunderstorm, and it does have a hook shape to it kind of back here, just north of Westmoreland and near Onega. As far as the hail core goes on this, let's check out where it's located. The biggest of the hail looks like it's probably near Wheaton to Vermilion at this point. All right, so I'm going to check out what the Weather Service says on this particular storm. And they are, what do you got to say here, guys? All right, 60-mile-per-hour winds moving toward Oldsburg, Wheaton, Lillis. Tornado watch remains in effect. New update just came in. All right, numerous streets flooded in Junction City. One building collapse. Stay off the roads. Okay. Bridge. Isaac, can you guys hear me? Anybody hear me in there? I need the newsroom to know that there's a report that a building collapsed. Yeah. Thank you. A building collapsed in Junction City. All right, so that is terrifying. I don't have any word on it being injuries or anything like that, but certainly, I don't know what the definition of building is. A building could be, it says in downtown Junction City, 3 inches of rain fell since 5, and we're supposed to tell everybody to stay off the streets, which I just did a few moments ago on TV, and I'll tell you again right here, stay off the streets. If you're around Junction City, do not go anywhere. Stay in if you are there in Junction City, please. The rainfall amounts, let's check that out. And this is going to be 5-6 inches of rain right there over Junction City. Just an absolutely amazing amount of rain that's fallen there. And I'm going to now bring up our weather pictures from viewers and see if we've got anybody that's sending in pictures of damage there. But yeah, a building collapse in downtown Junction City is what they're reporting there. All right, so I'm going to accept everything here. And then I'll show you what I've got if I see anything in Junction City. I don't see any pictures of it come in from Junction City, so I'm going to check out the Facebook wall here and see if you guys have anything there. If you're in Junction City, please don't go looking for this. Again, I don't know where it is. I don't know what's collapsed there. You know, and I don't know what the definition of building is. You know, I mean, many times you hear these reports, the first time you hear something, you know, it could be totally different once you finally get the details of the story. You know, and you know that's something that, you know, just something that happens more and more now. People just tell the first story that comes out. So what I've heard is building collapse, and the conversation now is going on, is it because of rain or because of wind? All right. So I am trying to figure that out. So we have the severe storm warning still in place, so let's talk about that part. We do know there's flash flooding there in Junction City, and I'm going to check out that view again that's on I-70, where it looked like there's water running across the interstate, at least onto the interstate. I don't want to overstate it. You know, because there's water getting onto the interstate, I'm not trying to say that this is, you know, the worst thing in the world, but you know, there it is. So there you go. That's video at the Milford exit where water's running onto I-70. Now, as I said, I don't want to overstate this. You can see these cars are getting through just fine. They're not, you know, they're all right. But certainly that water is rushing down onto at least the part of the road, and then flowing, you know, whichever direction. I don't have a lot of details about that, obviously. I'm just telling you that I can see water running onto I-70 there, and you don't see that very often. This is at 177, 77 and I-70. You can see the ditches are full there. You can also see it looks like the rain has somewhat not come to an end, but it's not as heavy as it was. And let's move east along I-70 with the KDOT cameras here. There you go, look at that. That's at I-70 at K18, how heavy the rain is there. This is going to be Manhattan exit 313 if it comes in, which is not a sure bet. It may be just getting pounded so hard that it doesn't come in. There's our storm that's in Wabaunsee County. And there's Manhattan from the north side of town looking toward the storm. All right, let's go back and check out the radar again. So if you're around Junction City in that area, just stay off the roads. I wouldn't mess with I-70 right now, or with the water running across the road in some spots. And that's just one spot I have a video of. I don't know what it looks like a half mile from there, or you know, or even a tenth of a mile from there. You know, I don't have a camera every single place, and I can't turn those cameras, the KDOT cameras. I don't have access to turn them. So while I can see them, you know, I don't have access to turn them. So, you know, if I want to just look around and see, hey, you know, what's going on just off screen, you know, I don't have the ability to do that. All right, so let's go back to the radar here. Again, we have several areas under severe thunderstorm warnings. And I really think that most likely we'll see Topeka in a warning. But the warning there for Wabaunsee County has now been allowed to expire. So that storm, as it moved into the Alma area and looked like it might be weakening, I thought it might just be because going over the radar, but in fact it was weakening. At least it looks that way. But this storm back here that's just come through Junction City is still very powerful and still has a severe thunderstorm warning with it. So that's the most powerful of the storms we have. The one to the north is also pretty dangerous at this point as well. The one that's moving toward areas like Onega, Oldsburg is up here. Seneca is close to that, but it just stays just to the south of you. You've got Goff is in the path of this. Wheaton, Centralia is getting very heavy rain right now. Over to Wetmore, it's heading in your direction. So this storm has hail the size of $half and winds gusting to as high as 60 miles per hour is currently what they're mentioning with this one. All right, let's check out what sort of reports we have so far as well. All right, back to the menu here. We'll do the reports. There we go. There we go. and see how strong some of the winds have been with some of these spots. So around Nemaha County and looks like toward Onega, I don't see any reports coming in there, and a ton of reports coming in over around Junction City. And just look at that's just the concentration or cluster that's located around Junction City with this. So we have wind gusts here. Let's check out what this one is. This one's going to be, let's see, 80-mile-per-hour winds reported with that. That was at Grandview Plaza is what it's saying officially, or close to Grandview Plaza. This one, what's this one's going to be? All right, so this one's going to be 75-mile-per-hour winds at 7:04 p.m. This storm's been going on for a while. And then downtown, or closer to downtown here, we have hail the size of golf balls that fell there in Junction City as well. Now, as we go over to the rainfall amounts, this is going to be the 1 hour total that comes up here. The 1 hour total is wild, but going back 3 hours, because this has been going on a while, this has not just been a 1 hour event. Here are the some clicking. The power sounds like it might have taken a surge here at the station. So in Junction City, you can see right there the area of red. That's at least 5 inches of rain that have fallen in Junction City, and still coming down. I'm still keeping an eye on these storms that are coming through Wabaunsee County, and that activity coming out of Geary County into Wabaunsee County also is going to be very strong. Let's see, Junction City, looks like at least the west side of town, the heavier the rain is kind of calming down at this point. Now, we have not seen any tornado warnings out of this, fortunately. There's still several areas of rotation in these, and you can even see it in here. It gets kind of confusing when you get closer to the radar dome. That's right there, that blank area. Once you get to there, you'll see things go from green, it passes by the radar and turns red. That's because when the precipitation or whatever it's seeing is going toward the radar, it's green, and red is the red out. That's what weather people remember as which direction it is. So red is away from the radar, green is toward the radar. But even back here, you can still see some eddies of small rotations showing up in that supercell storm. It's not as nasty as it was a few minutes ago, but still is severe. That activity in Geary County is by far the worst of it. The stuff that's up around Centralia looks to be especially powerful at this point as well. And then to the south, you can see the outflow boundary that looks to have formed as the storm may have lost some of its intensity. So maybe as we get close to sunset, this thing will start to lose some of its punch, but that's not a guarantee at this point. But most likely, as we get close to sunset, this will start to calm down. All right, severe storm warning remains in effect till 7:45 for southwestern Nemaha and Marshall counties. And the Weather Service says with this one, we've got 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. Seneca, Centralia, Corning, Vermilion, and Lillis all are in the path of this severe thunderstorm. Again, going till 7:45. Let's check out where the biggest of the hail might be. Looks like it's right over Centralia right now, and maybe the size of a quarter, probably not bigger than that. Now I'm going to put this in motion for the last hour. You'll see the hail kind of forming repeatedly there over Junction City. We're back it up 3 hours actually, and loop this. And those areas of white and orange and red, that's where it might be hail. It's a computer algorithm that's estimating where the hail might be. And you can see how slowly it's moving and how it kind of formed over the same area, kind of time after time there. If I take out the radar, let's do the radar here, just the regular reflectivity. We'll go back 3 hours on this too. And watch that storm form on Junction City and just kind of sit there. But we've had storms, just a heavy, heavy rain right on top of Junction City for a few hours. And then right to the left, to the west of Junction City, there's another storm forming over Chapman right now. So Junction City's already seen a ton of rain. And you can see right there near Chapman a new storm forming, just a brand new storm forming. And that one may go severe as well. That's a real possibility. So around Junction City, you're already dealing with extreme rain and some flooding. And, the word I have is that some building collapsed downtown. I don't have more information than that. I'll see if I can find anything. All right, so I don't see anything yet. All right, so again, 2 different areas of severe storm warnings. Marshall, Nemaha, the other one is mostly Geary County. Geary, just a small part of Riley. So in Riley County, if you're in Manhattan, you are not in that severe thunderstorm warning. You are close to it, but you are not officially in it. Okay. Looking to see if I can find anything about this at all. I don't see anything yet. All right. So let's check out. Come on. There we go. Let's go back to that Milford exit camera. I'll show you that again, where the water's running out on I-70. It's not as much as it was a few minutes ago. There you go. And again, I don't overstate this because the cars are getting through. Looks like just fine on I-70. I'm going to step over, let's look at a bigger monitor as a matter of fact here. I want to see if this big rig even splashes when it goes through there. But certainly a few minutes ago, it was kind of raging out onto the road. And, you know, I can't tell if there's water over the road, a few yards away from there or not. There's a live look from Council Grove toward this just amazing amount of rain that's falling with that storm. Again, around Junction City, some spots have got more than 5 inches of rain. I'll tell you what, Junction City, you're about to get hit with another couple of inches of rain most likely. Junction City, this is getting pretty dangerous here. I want to check out the latest in the flash flood warning that's going on there. All right, flash flood warning. For Geary County, and the Weather Service says on this, goes till 9:15, an update at 7:07. 3 to 5 inches of rain have fallen. Another ½ inch to 1.5 inches are possible. Flash flooding already occurring. Water rescues in the area already. All right, Bridge, can I go back on TV again? Okay, let me zoom this out real fast. All right. Yeah. All right, emergency management encouraging people to stay off the roads around Junction City right now. We've had about 5 inches of rain in town. There is a flash flood warning for much of Geary County, including Junction City. I have a word that there's at least been one building collapse downtown. I don't know if it's from the wind or from flooding. I don't know what building it is. But a report of a building collapsing there in downtown Junction City. Not to scare anybody here, not trying to. But stay off the roads. Now, I want you to look at this. So we already had, as a bullseye, of 4, 5, even 6 inches of rain. But now as we check out the radar, what you'll see is there's more storm activity developing near Chapman, also going right at Junction City. So you already have a serious flash flooding problem ongoing, and you have another storm moving your way. So we already have flash flooding where they've had water rescues in town and emergency management advising people to stay off the roads. And now more rain is coming toward Junction City, and it could be just as heavy. To the north, 60-mile-per-hour winds and heavy rain, as well as hail the size of quarters possible from Seneca to Centralia. over to Wetmore and Onega. You could be dealing with this as well. Tornado watch goes until 11 p.m. this evening. We are live streaming on WIBW.com, Facebook, and YouTube. We'll break in here on TV with more details as things come along. So far, we haven't seen tornado warnings, thankfully, but this flash flooding situation in Junction City is serious, and you need to be very cautious. And if you can, please stay off the roads around Junction City. Stay here. We'll keep you safe and informed. Thank you. Pardon me while I take a bite of my dinner. All right. Check out some cameras again. So, Chapman. This is the Chapman exit on I-70. This is behind the wild storm that just hit Junction City. This is a new storm. Look how strong the winds are here. There's not a severe storm warning for this yet. There will be. That is a wind gusting at least 60 miles per hour. So, the storm that's in near Chapman, you can see how hard it's shaking the camera there. And I've seen enough of these severe storms to know that that's winds to at least 60. That's beating up Chapman right now. So the storm that's near Chapman doesn't have a severe storm warning with it just yet. I'd bet the rest of my hamburger, used hamburger, that Chapman, that storm, if it's not, we'll have a severe storm warning with this, almost surely. Around Junction City, you're not in a severe thunderstorm warning yet. I think you'll have a new severe storm warning issued in a few minutes here, just based on what I'm seeing there on the radar and that KDOT camera. All right, zooming out, still a severe storm warning for the eastern parts of Geary County for winds to 60 and hail the size of $50 is a possibility with this. Now, look at that. We've got storms erupting down here in northern Lyon County now. That happened fast. Really in like 5 minutes. That's just no time at all. Okay, so these storms to the south are erupting along the outflow boundary. You can see that green skinny line come away from the storms to the north as it loses some of its intensity, runs into the hot humid air down here, and now we have really explosive development of storms just north of Emporia. And I can show you those. Oh, wow, those are amazing clouds. And of course, you'd want the weather geek, that's on TV that, keeps track of this stuff. You'd want me to think they're amazing clouds. All right, so let's check that out. So panning down to the south, I'm going to time lapse these. This is really wild looking. New warning there. New warning there for northern Lyon County. It goes into Wabaunsee County as well. All right. So we're going to look from Emporia to the north at this, and you can really see these storm clouds erupting fast. And the atmosphere down here is still very unstable, and we have that outflow boundary, which basically acts like a cold front as it moves into the hot, humid air that's out ahead of it. So let's go to this link there. Yeah, there we go. So we're looking to the north, almost straight north from the Emporia cam provided by ValueNet Fiber. And what you see here when you look at these clouds is they kind of have that explosion look to them. So when you watch a movie and they have explosions and everything, it's like a slow motion explosion. This is all orange or yellow. It would look like an explosion. Sometimes sunset it does, but when it looks like this, that's when it's erupting violently. When it starts to look more kind of feathered, that's when they're kind of falling apart or losing their intensity. But in this case, that is developing very quickly and is in the northern parts of Lyon County. So there's Emporia. As I pan down a little bit, you can see what we're looking at. That's across I-35, looking almost straight north, up at a cloud that's about 40,000 feet, but it's on its way to 50. That thing's going to go all the way to 50,000 feet and start producing some hail very shortly if it's not already. So new severe storms. That activity in the northern part of Lyon County and the southern part of Wabaunsee County. All right, step back over here and turn the interactive buttons back on. There we go. And on the radar here, we've got a couple of different severe storm warnings now. We've got the one that's in eastern Geary County that goes until 7:45. That's about 9 minutes from now. The storm that's over here near Chapman is almost sure to become a severe storm warning in a few minutes. I'm going to see if they've issued a significant weather advisory on it or anything like that. Nope, not yet. So that storm near Chapman is also heading toward Junction City. The storm that's down here near Allen and Eskridge, that is moving to the north, kind of the north-northeast, and that formed right on that outflow boundary. Now we have another storm developing in northwest Shawnee County rapidly. That has popped up. I don't think that's the outflow boundary right there, but you can almost bet that's going to be a severe storm warning as well. So in Shawnee County, we are probably going to have a severe thunderstorm warning issued just a few minutes of here. There's the view from our weather camera at 77th and Davis Road. And I'll turn it so we can actually see the storm. And I'm watching these. I need to watch the bottom of these all closely because we have enough instability and rotation in the atmosphere today that tornadoes are in play this time. Sometimes they're just very unlikely. And other days like today, they are more possible. So, but that's the storm. That's the camera there at 70th and Davis Road, and that storm developing rapidly over the last couple of minutes there near Rossville. Pretty sure I have the camera pointing. Yeah, I'm going to point it over toward. There we go. All right, let's look at the camera again. So there's the storm. Lightning striking right on cue. I appreciate it when the storms do that for me. But you got that heavy rain pouring there with that one that's just developed in the last few moments here. Let's check if I have any hail showing up on that thing yet, because that storm has developed very quickly. The storms to the south did as well. Okay, so no hail with that one just yet. The storm to the south, this has hail with it. This is the storm that's coming out of Lyon County and moving into southeast Wabaunsee County. So Wabaunsee County's had a couple of warnings, and that one is going to be for hail about the size of quarters. And either one of these two storms, the one that's in Lyon County and Wabaunsee, or the one coming out of Geary, either one of those could, and the one in northwest Shawnee County, any one of those could produce a warning in Shawnee County. All right, here's the activity to the north again. This thing that's near Seneca and Centralia. And there you go. We have a severe storm warning there for hail the size of nickels and winds to 60. Looks like the worst of that staying just north of Corning. So Jerry Keltzer always reports data from there. We appreciate him. All right, now, here's some good news. They just dropped the Nemaha County warning. They're going to let it expire. They're saying that storm is weakening to the north. Good. This thing, we have to watch that one very closely. I'm going to check the velocity on this. I don't like the way that looks. Moving into the southeast part of Wabaunsee County. That has multiple areas of spin. So now I need to get my cameras situated so that I can see all those things, because a little while ago we were not looking those directions. Now we have storms in places that they were not earlier. So I'm going to point my camera from Maple Hill, from the WIBW transmission tower, and point it south. And I'm going to point my camera from Menninger Hill to the southwest as well, so we can keep track of all these guys. But that storm that's moving into, oh man, this is a storm near And the eastern part of Geary County's also got a rotation to it too. That thing's been spinning for a long time. So Volland, heads up, that thing's spinning. It is not as powerful of a storm as it was a few minutes ago, but it does have rotation showing up in it, just a couple of miles west-northwest of Volland. That is a suspicious area right about there. Okay, so now I'm trying to get this camera pointed around to the south. So I want to see this as it comes up toward, straight toward that camera. I've got it now. And again, this is just me today. We've got Doug is out, and Daniel worked from, the wee small hours of the morning, so you're going to get just me tonight. All right, let's turn the Menninger camera here. Yeah, any one of these could become a warning for Shawnee County. I think Shawnee's going to wind up in the mix on this in just a moment here. Okay, so this warning for the north part of Lyon and the south part of Wabaunsee County, that is for hail the size of quarters and winds to 60 miles per hour. That's what's possible with this. And that storm is basically moving to the north, moving kind of north-northeast. It's getting far enough away from my camera there from Emporia. It's getting a little hard to see at that distance. But it's getting closer to areas like the Menninger Hill camera, my Cyrus Hotel camera. Those are going to become much closer to it shortly here. So we'll start looking farther up there. And I have the camera from the WIBW transmission site there. We can watch it as well. And again, I'm also concerned about that storm that's coming out of Chapman heading for Junction City, because it was still producing very heavy rain and strong winds. And I'm concerned that Junction City is going to wind up with another downpour of rain. Okay. And now I've got the camera that's near Maple Hill pointing in the direction of that storm. And I'm going to get the Menninger Hill camera pointing that way as well to make sure we've got eyes on it. And then we have the camera in the northwest, had the storm that's northwest part of Shawnee County too. Any one of those could become severe and probably will. Yeah, the storm coming in from Lyon County into the southern part of Wabaunsee County does look nasty. You can see the base on it right there. Yeah, that one has potential too. All right, I'm kind of setting up cameras here behind the scenes, so I have these all ready. Okay, there's the view from the camera near 70th and Davis Road. This is the downpour there. And that's 70th and Davis Road, the northwest part of Shawnee County. And this storm erupted very quickly. Doesn't look like the winds are quite to 60 miles per hour there from this one. And I can't tell if that's hail. I don't think it is at this point. But certainly a downpour of rain. And looking from Menninger Hill, I'm watching the storm coming in from the southwest toward Topeka. And then the storm to the north, they have announced that this warning will be allowed to expire at 7:45 because that storm weakened and has lost its intensity. Look at this activity along I-70. That whole storm is just right down Interstate 70. If you were trying to drive from Alma to Chapman, that would seem like the longest drive probably of your life. You could not pay me enough to ride in a car. You could pay me enough. It would be very difficult to get me to agree to drive in that. I've been in things that bad before, honestly, but I don't want to ever do it again if I don't have to. So now, earlier I showed you the view from Milford exit on I-70. Here it goes again. The extremely heavy rain is hitting that same spot again, and the water's flowing back out onto the road again. So again, the folks in Junction City were recommended by emergency management to stay off the roads, and that certainly is a good idea because you can barely see at all. Here's the view in Junction City, where it looks to me like they probably have hail falling again. That are just really big raindrops. Lyon County, Wilmette County warnings upgraded to golf ball size hail, and they're mentioning the tornado watch is still in place and 70-mile-per-hour winds. And they're saying located near Allen, moving east at 20 miles per hour. So that is the storm that's near Allen and is making its way east, kind of moving east-northeast. Let's drop that one. No, I better keep that one. I was going to take the Council Grove camera out of the mix, but I think it might be close enough that we could see, if this thing gets hooky over there, we might be able to see something from that. So this is the view from Council Grove, from the east side of town. And if that thing's doing anything dangerous, other than 70-mile-per-hour winds and hail the size of golf balls, which is clearly dangerous enough, we'll be looking at kind of that area right there. But I really think that storm is too far away, probably too far away from the Emporia cam there to see if it's going to go tornado or not, or even start rotating at the bottom. It's just too humid. So much moisture there, it's really hard to see. All right, so watching a couple of different cameras there. And right now, as I mentioned, the Milford exit on I-70 just absolutely getting pounded with rain again. And this area has already seen flash flooding, and now you can just see it's training. This is the definition of training. Tornado warning. Hey guys, put me on TV, tornado warning. Now. All right, tornado warning just issued for the northeast part of Lyon County. This is Doppler radar indicated, so we do encourage you to take shelter if you're in the northeast part of Lyon County. This is really close to Allen, is the location where this is ongoing. So we have several different storms that are ongoing. Any one of these can cause problems, but the one right now that has a tornado warning with it is that right there in the northeast part of Lyon County. You can see the hook showing up now right there, almost right over the town of Allen at this point. I'm going to turn my camera around and I may even have a look at this thing. Here we go. Let's see if I've got it. I may have this. So looking out there live from our weather camera. I'm going to have to zoom it out so I can actually see from the Emporia cam, which is way down here. But looking to the north, that's suspicious. That's the area we're talking about right there, which could be a tornado or touchdown at any moment. So that's where we're looking at is this area, which is 10 miles north of Emporia. And again, we could have a tornado touchdown in that area at any time. So if you're in Allen, take shelter right now. This is a dangerous storm. It's difficult to tell if that's down. If it is, it's rain-wrapped. It's definitely a rain-wrapped storm, but that's the area that we're looking at with a potential tornado that could touch down any moment if it hasn't already. The Weather Service is saying this is Doppler radar indicated, so we don't know for sure that it's actually on the ground, but it is Doppler radar indicated tornado at this time, and again, it could touch down any time if it hasn't already. So if you're in the town of Allen, please take shelter right now. It's a dangerous situation there. We've also been watching extreme flash flooding ongoing around Junction City, and the emergency management there in Junction City has recommended that folks stay off the road in Junction City, where you've already had 5 inches of rain and more is moving your way coming in from a new storm that's developed over Chapman at this time. So again, tornado warning. It's the northeast part of Lyon County. If you are in Emporia, you are not in the tornado warning. If you are in Allen, you are in the tornado warning. And the hook echo is showing it pretty obviously right there on the latest scan of the radar. So Allen, Admire, both these towns need to be taking shelter right now. Looking more closely at the data, let's check out how fast these particles are moving. We've got some 80s in there, 82 miles per hour. That's strong. So we have this rotation right over the town of Allen at this point. So if you are there or in Admire, this is moving east at 20 miles per hour. Allen and Admire, you're both in the path of this. As I loop this, you can see it form very quickly. And this is along an outflow boundary from the storm that was beating up Junction City a while ago. And now it sent the outflow boundary into the very hot, humid air mass. And it looks like we probably have a tornado on the ground. If it's not, then it's awfully close. I'm going to check the debris mode and see if this is actually picking up anything in the atmosphere as far as debris. There may be a debris signature there. I'm not 100% sure, but that's where it is. It's right over the town of Allen right now. If you're in Allen, take shelter right now. You have the tornado warning. I'll go back to our camera here looking out from Emporia. Our Emporia cam provided by ValleyNet Fiber, and this will be looking to the north toward the storm. But the most important thing, if you are in Allen and Admire, take shelter right now in those areas. I'm stepping off to a higher resolution monitor over here so I can see this thing as well as I can. And right there in the middle is where you see that downpour. That would be where the tornado would be if it's in fact in progress. I'm going to zoom in on a suspicious little spot here to the west and to the left part of that, not the highway there, but I'm going to zoom in kind of the left part of that storm and see if I could actually see a funnel cloud there. I think I might have seen a funnel cloud on the left side of that picture. So panning up here, again, there's the storm. It has a tornado warning with it for Lyon County. It's not all of Lyon County. So if you're in Emporia, you're not included in the tornado warning. But be ready just in case you might be. So if your weather radio is going off saying tornado warning Lyon County, it does not mean Emporia. It means the Allen and Admire areas, and that may very well be a funnel cloud right there, kind of in the top middle of the shot. It's hard to make it out for sure there, but we've seen tornadoes from this camera from more than 20 miles before, so that's what it looks like now. And it's difficult to pick out, but the velocity signature from looking at the radar was showing it a lot better, as a matter of fact. So sometimes the cameras pick them up, sometimes the radar itself picks them up. But a few moments ago, you could see the rotation. It's just right on top of the town of Allen. So if you're in Allen, take shelter. You got to take shelter right now if you're in the town of Allen. If you're in Admire, you should be taking shelter right now as well. That rotation is showing up very close to you and moving slowly to the east at about 20 miles per hour. So Allen and Admire, take shelter right now in these areas. Here's the velocity again. That's going to show that Allen is right in the path of this thing. Admire, you're in the path of this. You have very little time in Admire before this would reach you. I'm going to give you a cone track here and how fast it would be there in Admire. Moving east at 20, you're going to have this in Admire by 8:06, just a couple of minutes. You've got Miller, you got the Osage Medical Clinic, Northern Heights Elementary School. All these places are going to be in the path of this. All right, so again, that's a Doppler radar indicated tornado. Reading the update from the Weather Service here, they do say that it's Doppler radar indicated for Lyon County going to 8:15. Capable of producing a tornado moving east, now at 15 miles per hour is the motion they have on this. So again, that velocity really showing the tornado signature pretty obviously there near Allen and just about to Admire at this point. That's what it looks like right there, and you can see it moving kind of more like east-southeast. And I'm still working on the camera here to try to get confirmation on it as well. But I really think I can see a funnel cloud on the back side of this thing. So let's go back over to my camera here. I'm going to see if I can show you a funnel cloud here. It looks like we've probably got a funnel cloud that's right over Allen on the way to Admire at this time. So let's check it out. This is the view on the tower camera. And we're going to look to the north there, really straight north from Emporia. If you're in Emporia, this is not coming towards you. It's actually staying just north of you. But that looks like a funnel cloud. And on the right side, you can see the extremely heavy rain. And the middle top there, right there, really in the middle of the shot, looks like that's most likely a funnel cloud at this point. And certainly that's the area that has the rotation that's showing up on the radar. So if you're in Allen, if you're in Admire, please take shelter right now. That is a dangerous storm that could produce a tornado at any time. And we do encourage you to take shelter right away if you are in that area. So Allen, Admire, please take shelter. You are very close to a dangerous storm that could produce a tornado at any time. All right, back over to the radar here. What I'm trying to do is I want to bring the Council Grove camera around and see if I can, oh yeah, there we go. Wait a minute, here we go. This is it, I got it. That's the funnel cloud, no doubt. From Council Grove, the TCT broadband cam, that's a funnel cloud. Here we got it. The other angle was a maybe. This is a yes. That's a tornado. That's a funnel cloud right there looking toward Allen and Admire. If you're in this area, you have to take shelter right now. That is a funnel cloud we're picking up live on the camera from Council Grove, the east side of Council Grove, looking off to the east-northeast. You got a funnel cloud overhead right now, about halfway between Allen and Admire. I can't tell if it's touching the ground right now. Sometimes you just can't. Sometimes it looks like this, and it doesn't have a condensation funnel all the way down. If it hits a building or it pulls up debris, it's more obvious. But in a case like this, I can't tell if it's all the way down, but I know for sure that's a funnel cloud right there that's over the town of just between Allen and Admire, and it's moving east-southeast at roughly 15 miles per hour. So if you are in these areas, please, please, please take shelter right now. That is a very dangerous storm and could produce a tornado at any time if it's not already doing it. And it looks to me like that's almost surely, that is a funnel cloud. I have no doubt about what that is. That's a funnel cloud that's in progress right there. I'm going to go back over to the Emporia camera because, I'll go to the radar first and show you where the danger is. So here we go. The rotation is showing up right there near Allen and almost Admire at this point. That ball you see is a camera. That's a KDOT camera that does not turn, that's on the interstate. So I can't see anything from that, but that's what that is. And there's some hail there, it looks like. But the rotation on this is almost right on top of Admire. And if you're in Admire, you need to take shelter right now. That was obviously a funnel cloud we were seeing just a moment ago before it kind of hid behind the tower. So the town of Admire, you are in danger right now. If you're in Allen, it looks like this is passing you by at this point, moving to the east-southeast. And I'm going to switch over. I want to turn that camera, the one that's in Emporia, and see if I can see it better now, because it's obscured from the other camera. So there you go. That's the funnel cloud again. We're looking almost straight north from Emporia right now. There's your funnel cloud, straight north from Emporia. And it's not I don't see a tornado on the ground at this moment, but certainly a funnel cloud there. And there are many cases where these do touch down, and you can't tell unless it's actually pulling up some sort of debris. So let's check out the debris tracker and see if I have anything on that. The velocity mode will show exactly where the rotation was showing up. And this is a pretty strong rotation at this point, getting close to the town of Admire. Please, Admire, if you're in town, take shelter right now. If you're in Admire, please take shelter. This is a dangerous storm. I don't have confirmation that it's touched down at this point. It still says radar indicated, and I don't see debris flying on this. But this did produce a funnel cloud. I'm sure of that. Just a few moments ago, we could see it on the tower camera from all the way from Council Grove. And zooming out on this, I'm going to try to bring it back up from the Emporia camera, then I'll try the Council Grove version again and see if we can see it. But again, if you're there around Admire, that's the big deal. Is if you're in Admire, you got to take shelter right now. That's where the danger is the town of Admire for the next few minutes, and then it'll start moving farther to the east and maybe become an Osage City problem if this maintains its strength and its direction. So looking north from Emporia, scanning the skies back and forth there. You know, it's difficult to see if it's there from the angle that I have here. The other angle from Council Grove had just a little better light, and then the storm hid behind the tower. So that's how it looks there now. And I'll see if I can turn that camera. I don't think it's going to make any difference. I think it's just right directly behind the communications tower that's on. So definitely had a funnel cloud right there over Allen. And now the rotation is getting really close to Admire. If you're in Admire, this is right on top of you. If you're in Admire, take shelter right now. Don't go on Facebook or wherever looking for more data. I'm telling you right now, that's a dangerous storm that could produce a tornado any time right over the town of Admire. You need to take shelter in Admire. In the next few minutes, we'll see if it continues, and it could make its way toward Osage City. Redding is awfully close to this as well. Now, the rotation on this a few moments ago was tighter and over a smaller area, and if it's over a moment ago, it was obvious that it was a tornado or maybe a funnel cloud, one of the two. Right over Allen and Admire, it spiked at about 86 miles per hour for one part of the storm, and making its way east-southeast. Now that it's close to Admire, this may be more of a wind damage event. I'm not trying to rule out tornado at this point, but from what I see there, it looks like that area of the tight rotation is now a big area of kind of these bright reds. What can also happen is the farther you get away from the radar, it can look different just because you're actually tilting up and looking farther up in the storm with distance. All right, I'm trying to get this thing back up on the Emporia cam and see if I can see anything in there suspicious again. And I don't at this point. All right, so yeah, maybe. But Admire, if you're in Admire, this has got, at minimum, it has strong straight line winds. This is going to be winds at least 70 miles per hour, maybe worse, as it makes its way toward areas like Redding and Osage City. And it's heading toward the wind farm there near Redding. Osage City, you should be ready for damaging winds as well out of this. So check out the reflectivity and take off the velocity here for a moment, and you'll see the hook echo on that. Pretty well defined still as it gets a little farther to the south there, getting really trying to build toward Redding, it looks like. So the tornado warning goes till 8:15. They're mentioning hail the size of golf balls, potential tornado as well. But from what I see there, the winds could be 70 or 80 miles per hour as well. So even with no tornado, you could still see damaging straight line winds with this. It could be 70 or even 80 miles per hour. So that's a problem. So if you're around Admire and Allen, you should be taking shelter right now. Allen's now out of the tornado warning. Another danger I want to alert you to is in Junction City. We talked about this earlier, but let's bring an update on it as well one more time here. Junction City has had extreme rainfall today, more than 5 inches of rain in many parts of town, and emergency management was requesting that media let people know to stay off the streets, just stay home, because the rainfall there has caused so much flash flooding. They had water rescues, people being rescued from their cars and that kind of thing. So we still have a flash flood warning that's in place right there in Junction City. And I'm going to glance at this camera again before I say this, but the water was running over the road at Milford, the Milford exit, 291, just a few minutes ago. I'm going to bring up the camera there, the KDOT camera. You can see how heavy the rain is. It's just storming very heavily again there in Junction City. It'll take me just 10 seconds here to bring this up, and it looks like hail to me is falling in Junction City once again. But Junction City has seen just storm after storm coming through town over the last several hours. And again, the rainfall total is 6 inches in some spots, and it's still falling. Look how heavy the rain is coming down in Junction City right now. Some of that's mixed with hail. And as we look a little farther to the west, there's the view at the Milford exit, and you can see the water just pouring out here, getting onto the part of I-70. It's not running across the road from what I can see there, but certainly if you don't have to be on the roads, that's pretty dangerous to drive in. There's another view on I-70 at Junction City with winds gusting probably 60 miles per hour at this point. And then farther to the east, there you got the Manhattan exit 313 with heavy rain there as well. So here on the radar, you can see Junction City has had round after round of rain. Another round is developing near Chapman and heading really in the same direction. So at this point, there are no severe storm warnings in that area, but the flash flood warning is still in place. The two warnings we do have, one severe storm warning, one tornado warning, are this activity down to the south in parts of Wabaunsee County and northeast Lyon County, where we have a radar-indicated tornado. Looks like it's right on top of Admire or just past Admire at this time. So again, same thing, Admire, if you're there, take shelter right now. You are in the path of potential tornado. It looks to me there still could be a tornado in there. It looks to me though like it wants to turn more to the southeast, and what it's done is this particular storm is riding an outflow boundary from storms earlier. We had the storms that developed. This is getting big. This is a very big storm now, much bigger than it was. So the storm earlier was over the Junction City area, and it shot this outflow boundary, skinny green line down to the south and east. And you can see this just erupt. It's like its own cold front that's making its way down there. So you can yell at me, Denny, if you need to.
Well, here's the scoop on the building.
Confirmed a building in Junction City, partially collapsed, no injuries from emergency management. Did they mention if it's from rain or wind? Probably, you don't know.
That's what I got.
Okay, thank you.
I'll check.
Okay, I appreciate it. They may not know. But yeah, we have a building that partially collapsed in Junction City. And we don't know if it's because of wind or from the rain, but downtown Junction City is where we have word that a building at least partially collapsed today. All right, so we have this tornado warning, and this is probably going to keep going. A minute ago it looked like it might be dying down. Now it doesn't. So we have this well-defined hook echo now that's getting closer to Redding and getting toward Osage City. You need me? You need me?
They don't know.
They don't know. Okay, thank you. So we have this tornado, potential tornado, still Doppler radar indicated as far as I know, and it's moving toward maybe just north of Redding. So again, a few minutes ago we had the funnel cloud. We could see it really well from the camera from Council Grove. And sometimes it just depends on the angle of the sun, the time of the day. But I am still looking for that thing from this the camera from Emporia now. And I think I've got the right area again. All right, let's pan this down, and we'll see if we can see it from the camera in Emporia. And this is looking probably 15 miles away, but I really think that I might be able to get a look at this thing. All right, I'll just step off and hit the button manually and make it go a little faster here. So this storm has a history of producing at least a funnel cloud, and it may have produced a tornado. I did not see debris showing up on our camera, and I have not seen debris showing up from the debris mode on our radar either. So this is looking northeast from Emporia, and that camera is on a nice high perch, so I can see a long way. We saw a tornado with this thing all the way to Cottonwood Falls, so this thing does a really good job of seeing a long distance. So we're looking over just kind of between Redding and Admire at this point, and to me it looks like there's enough rotation in that they'll probably keep that tornado warning going. It goes till 8:15, so it goes another 7 minutes here, but right there in the middle looks to be the suspicious part to me, and kind of on the bottom right there is where you can see the wind turbines from Redding are on kind of the bottom right side of your screen. You can see a long way there with this this camera, but that right in the middle certainly looks like a funnel cloud to me, and I don't see it touching down. I don't see debris coming up off the ground or dust or anything flying, but certainly that part in the middle is what is rotating, and that would be the most dangerous part of this. So we'll keep our camera right there on that. There's no doubt that is the funnel cloud in there. And you can see it, the more you watch just right there in the top middle, just straight above Ross. If you look at the Ross store right in there in the middle and look straight up from there, everything is rotating right around that as an axis point. So that's where the spin is going to be on this. And it's moving to the east-southeast. So it's moving toward areas like Redding. Admire, this is still very close to you. The winds in Admire could still be very strong. Allen. If you're in the town of Allen, it looks like this has passed you by. But right there you can really see that middle part of the storm is all rotating. It's not the most rapid rotation I've seen in one of these, but certainly it has enough spin in there to produce a potential tornado. And again, if you're around Admire, you should be taking shelter still. And if you're in the town of Reading, I'd be ready to take shelter. It looks like it's coming together a bit more right there in the middle. Right in the middle. Right here. This part of the storm right here. That part looks like it's kind of dominating the rest of the rotation, and you know, that may do it. So right there, looking to the northeast from Emporia, the Emporia cam provided with Valiant Fiber, that is probably going to be a tornado in a moment if it's not already. Okay, now the Weather Service is extending the tornado warning over into Osage County, right past the town of Reading, and almost to Osage City. Osage City is not quite in it, but you are awfully close to it. And I'm going to watch this again. So if you're in Reading, go ahead and take shelter. That's a very well formed hook echo now. It was convincing a few minutes ago. Now it's a bit more convincing. So right there is a potential tornado. As we look out live again from the Emporia cam, this is again provided by the folks at Valiant Fiber, and we're looking toward the northeast, past just east of Admire, and east of Allen as well. So there's the storm. Again, tornado warning has been extended farther. It goes into parts of Osage County and into almost to Reading. It doesn't have Reading included in there, but if you're in Reading, I would take shelter anyway. So that is how it looks there. Okay, I'm going to check out the report from the Weather Service. Weather Service says they had the Turnpike report a funnel cloud near Admire. We saw it. Okay, so, and severe storm warning now issued for Shawnee-Wabunsee County. That just came out. And tornado warning for Lyon Osage, tornado and golf ball size hail, funnel cloud near 99 and 56, and tornadic storm remaining mainly over rural areas of west central Osage County, northeast Lyon, is what they're saying here. All right, so again, potential tornado in there, and we've had a funnel cloud with that on several occasions. And again, this new tornado warning includes Osage County. It doesn't quite get to Osage City, but very close. And again, that very well-defined hook there, I wouldn't call it a debris ball, but this area right there is very suspicious as a potential for where a tornado could be. Now, to the north, here we have the severe storm warning that includes all of Topeka, and we have 70-mile-per-hour winds in this thing. Wabunsee, actually that's Shawnee County is in that, and who else is in this one? So Shawnee County and Wabunsee County. 70-mile-per-hour winds located near Dover, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So we have severe winds just about to beat up Topeka, probably 70 miles per hour coming in from the southwest. So if you're in Topeka, stay inside as this moves through. The storm that's in Topeka is not showing any signs of spinning from what I see, but it is going to affect, more than 100,000 people are going to see this thing come through, and it is going to be loud. All right, so back over to the cameras. I'm going to check out this potential tornado again. It's really kind of right there in the middle of your screen, the top middle of your screen, and I don't see it on the ground at this point, but it could touch down at any moment. So that's what it looks like there on the live camera. And that warning going until, let's get the time on that again, it includes Osage County and northeast part of Lyon County, and the new warning for Osage goes until 8:45. Now right here, I'm going to kind of draw this on. This part is the most suspicious, where there could be a tornado if one is touching down at this moment. I'm going to put up the debris mode and see if I see anything with that. Sometimes you do. What we're looking for is an area of blue that's kind of surrounded by other red, and that very well could be a tornado. There could be a tornado right there at this moment, just southeast of Admire. That certainly could be a tornado. Okay, new updates coming in. Flash flood warning update for Geary, Wabaunsee, Riley. They say another 3 inches of rain are possible. So major flash flooding going on around Junction City already. And now the Weather Service is saying that another 3 inches of rain could fall there, as they've already seen extreme rain, and more is coming. Let's check out the live camera from Topeka now really quick. This is not a tornado situation in Topeka, but Topeka, the entire city, is just about to get beat up with strong winds. That's how it looks right now from Menninger Hill. Now, Menninger Hill, if you don't know where that is the kind of the north end of Wanamaker. We are located right by where the old Hollywood Theater is located. That's where this camera is that's a hill. So if you're driving north on Wanamaker, you see a transmission tower on the west side of the hill at the top of Wanamaker, the very end of Wanamaker, the north end. That's this camera. That's where this is located, about 150 feet up that. I'm looking south across town, and that is the area of 70-mile-per-hour winds that are just about to reach Topeka. So you have a couple of minutes in the capital city before strong winds most likely reach your home if you're in Topeka. To the west, again, we're seeing extreme rain around Junction City. Many spots there are going to see an additional 2 or 3 inches of rain. We've already got major flash flooding going on in town. The folks from emergency management were asking media to ask you to stay off the roads there in Junction City. They already had to rescue several people. Now this thing is ramping up more. That's the view. If you're in Reading, take shelter. If you're in the town of Reading, go ahead and take shelter right now, please. If you've been around here long enough, the Reading tornado is one that is a story that most of us know about. I believe it was May 21 of 2011. An F3 hit Reading back then. It was actually the day before the Joplin tornado. And I'm looking here to see if I can pick this one out. And okay, so there's the hook echo. Very well defined hook echo right there. Getting awfully close to the town of Reading. If you're in Reading, take shelter. You're just barely outside the warning. Now it's confirmed tornado. Okay, confirmed tornado with this now. The National Weather Service confirming this is on the ground. Okay, so we have a tornado in progress near Reading, and we need you to take shelter if you are there. If you're in Reading, Isaac, you need to send a push notification out saying tornado approaching Reading. Some sort of push notification. We're live streaming tornado near Reading. That's going on right now. All right, let's read the text on this. Weather Service says, confirmed tornado 5 miles northwest of Reading, moving east at 15. Weather spotters confirmed it. Okay, weather spotters see this thing, and they say it's 5 miles northwest of Reading is what they've got on this. So confirmed tornado, it says observed here. So confirmed tornado, moving to the east at 15. I don't trust that it's straight east. If I was in Reading, I would take shelter right now. Just do it. But a confirmed tornado in place there. Let's check out the velocity on this again. And there's your confirmed tornado showing up very close to Reading, just northwest of town, about 5 miles. I'm going to check out the debris and see if we see anything flying in the atmosphere here. And it's difficult to say if there's something actually there or not that's flying. But Reading, you should take shelter right now. I would take shelter in Reading. The northwest part of the west central part of Osage County, you should be taking shelter right now. Osage City, you should be taking shelter right now. It's a confirmed tornado at this point and a dangerous situation. I'll go down to Emporia again and see if I can see this storm, the tornado part of this. Storm spotters say they do see it at this point, and I'm having trouble picking it out, but they are closer to it, and they may be able to see debris flying. Maybe that's a possibility, or it's a possibility that they see something that isn't there. That sometimes it happens too, but in this case, they are saying confirmed tornado near 5 miles northwest of Reading, and I'm saying if you're in the town of Reading, you should take shelter right now. Looks to me like it's probably going to be a rain-wrapped storm. If I zoom in there really close, you can see the wind turbines that are near Reading. So, all right, if you're in Redding, take shelter now. If you're in Osage City, I would take shelter right now. Confirmed tornado. This is it right here. And the debris on this, let's see if we have debris showing up. And let's get some cross streets on this as well. So this is not heading toward Emporia. If you're in Lyon County in Emporia and your weather radio is going off, you do not have a tornado heading your way. This is going to be well north of Emporia and certainly passing by. If you are in Topeka and you're hearing me talk about tornadoes and you're hearing strong winds outside, don't worry. This is not the thing that's heading toward Topeka. Topeka has 70-mile-per-hour winds, but it is not the same storm. All right, here we go. I think this is it here now. Yeah, this is it now. All right. So I don't see a lot of debris showing up in there. But sometimes when these things are not hitting something, if they're in a rural area, you know, if you have shingles flying up into the tornado, many times it's much easier to see the debris from the radar. In this case, it's much harder. Now I'm checking this out on a higher resolution monitor again. And I hear the wind at the TV station now. So we have 60, 70-mile-per-hour winds in Topeka. And I'm watching this storm. This is the storm that's almost to Redding. It's very close to Redding. And the rotation is on the right middle part of that. So if you see the word menu, it's straight down from there is a part of this that's actually spinning. Now the whole thing is spinning, but that's the part that would drop a tornado. And it could be on the ground and just impossible to see it because the condensation funnel doesn't get all the way down. But again, it is a confirmed tornado for the northeast part of Lyon County, and it is awfully close to the town of Redding, is where we're going to have the most population that will be affected around Redding. So if you're in Osage City, this is really kind of coming your way as well, and you should be prepared to take shelter as well. As a matter of fact, if you're in Osage City, I would prefer you just take shelter right now. So again, that's the area right there. If this touches down, that's what it's going to be. So close to Redding, there's what could be a debris ball if it's actually doing that, but the signature is this area right there. So that's the most dangerous part of this. So again, it is a confirmed tornado that is on the ground, just maybe 2 miles northwest of the town of Redding at this point. Update coming in. And I'll tell you what's up with Topeka as well here. Let's do that. I know a lot of folks are coming in from Topeka and wondering what is going on outside. We have 60 to 70 mile per hour winds in Topeka right now, a new severe thunderstorm warning that's in place. That's it right there. And the most dangerous part of the winds on here, we'll check out the velocity on this. And it looks like the strongest winds are right in the Lake Sherwood area. So the strongest winds are just arriving in Topeka. We have the heavy rain already, but the strongest winds are just now arriving in Topeka. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning that includes the capital city, and you can see the heavy rain's already moved in, but the damaging wind is going to follow as well shortly. So around Lake Sherwood, we already have the damaging wind moving in, but in the next few minutes, that damaging wind is likely to oversweep much of the city. So it's coming in from the southwest, and likely to see some wind damage from this. All right, back here, this is a confirmed tornado, and it looks even worse again on the radar. Look at that spin on this thing. There may be 2 tornadoes in this thing. My gosh. All right, so just north of Redding, we have a lot of rotation there. I encourage you strongly, if you are in Redding, take shelter now. If you're in Osage City, go ahead and take shelter. The warning does not actually go into the town of Redding or in the town of Osage City. Neither one of you are actually in the warning, but you're close enough that I would encourage you to go ahead and take shelter as though you were. That rotation on this, very strong. It's difficult to see it. I'm confident this is a rain-wrapped tornado. I have no doubt about that. If I had a camera that was, right in Osage City, I might be able to see this thing. But I don't want anybody going outside trying to take a peek at this thing. But I'm looking through the very heavy rain trying to get this from the weather camera. So the tornado is right here. That's where it's located. And this most likely has touched down. I'm not sure it's been on the ground the whole time. I can hear the downpour outside, hear the TV station, so no doubt there are a lot of people in Topeka that are wondering, what's going on. It's a severe storm warning that's in Topeka right now. All right, I'm going to zoom out on this a little bit, and that rotation, that potential tornado from what I see, is located about 2 or maybe 3 miles north of Redding. There's a new update coming in there, and I'm not sure if that says observed tornado or Doppler radar indicated, so let's read it. Weather Service says 8:24 p.m. severe storm capable of producing a tornado located 4 miles north of Redding, moving east at 15. Tornado and golf ball size hail are possible with this. And they say it's radar indicated rotation. Mainly rural areas of west central Osage and east central Lyon counties. So they are now going with Doppler radar indicated tornado warning on this, and it still goes until 8:45, I believe. Oh, 9. This new warning goes till 9. Okay. So what we've got here, National Weather Service is going with Doppler radar indicated tornado, and this stays inside the old polygon. The old polygon didn't quite make it to Osage City, and this one doesn't either, and it does not include Redding. They drew this polygon, so it does not include either one of those two towns. They're saying hail the size of golf balls and a potential for a tornado. Right now, it's a Doppler radar indicated tornado. Let's check out the camera again and look to the northeast. It looks like things might be clearing up a little bit so that I can see a bit better in that direction. So there it is. That's our storm that is just a couple of miles north of Redding. And you can see I've got it almost right in the middle is the part that's got the strongest of the rotation. If this was touching down, it's right about here. It's not this, it's this over here. But right there you can see that area is spinning fairly tightly, and that's why we have the tornado warning that's in place for a big part of northeast Lyon County over into Osage County. Again, they did not draw the polygon all the way over into Redding or into Osage City. I'm going to zoom in more closely on this. Here we go. And we're looking at the wind farm there near Redding as a kind of a landmark that you can see. And I can't see this being on the ground, but I'm also looking through very heavy rain to see it. All right, let's go back here and look at the warning itself. There it is. So we have the tornado warning for areas in northeast Lyon County and the west central part of Osage County. And that is a well-organized, well-defined supercell thunderstorm out by itself with a very well-defined hook echo, big comma out ahead of it. This is not a storm that's going to weaken in the next few minutes. That thing's going to keep going for a while. Now, let's check out the storm in Topeka and Shawnee County. The winds were gusting around 70 around Auburn just a few moments ago, and now we're seeing the damaging winds getting into the middle of the city. So it's a severe thunderstorm warning for Shawnee County. It goes till 8:45, and there you go. You can see the heavy rain and wind getting into the west side of town now. There's the view. The Noto camera looks like it's been pushed around by the wind a little bit. There's the view from Evergy Plaza. The wind is not strong there just yet, but it will be. And then looking from Cyrus Hotel, again, the wind is not quite as strong there yet, but it's coming. Just had a warning also issued a few minutes ago that includes parts of Douglas and Jefferson counties. There is that warning, and that is for quarter-size hail, winds to 60, and that's moving toward areas like Lecompton. And then the warning for Shawnee County was initially for winds up to 70, and now they are mentioning 60 and quarter-size hail. Let's check out the velocity here on this. And the velocity showed the strongest winds were near Lake Sherwood a few minutes ago, and now the strongest winds look like they're very close to the Burnett's Mound area and probably Forbes Field getting strong winds right now, and also over toward the Frito-Lay plant, that area, that part of town, getting some of the stronger winds. Down to the south, here's your tornado warning. That thing is nasty. This is a really nasty storm. If they didn't go back to confirmed tornado, I would not be surprised if we go back to confirmed tornado on this thing. I'm not saying it will happen, but it would not surprise me. But that looks like a tornado on radar, and this is definitely a rain-wrapped tornado. The only way you could see this thing if you were storm chasing it would be what's called a hook slice, and it's extraordinarily dangerous. But the only way that you could actually see the storm in this case is if you were somewhere in this area right about there, and that's really risky to do. So from where a camera is, from the southwest of this, I'm having to look through a lot of the rain and strong winds, and it's just about impossible to see with that position on this one. Maybe some light poking through. I just don't think I'm going to get a good look at this thing again. We had a look a little while ago. We had a great look from the Council Grove camera earlier as well. I'm going to try that one again, as a matter of fact. But again, tornado warning there. It's now Doppler radar indicated. A little while ago, it was a confirmed tornado. It was confirmed by storm spotters, and now it is Doppler radar indicated. But it is still very, very strong, and the velocities I've been seeing on there the last couple of rounds are convincing that this is a very strong, it's a strong rotation. It really could touch down at any time if it hasn't already. So back on the velocity here, and I'll show you some values on this again. There we go. These orange spots here indicate something above 80. There you go. There's a 79. There's an 87 mile-per-hour wind being shown there on the radar, and that's going to be just a couple of miles southwest of Osage City. So if you're in Osage City, as I was mentioning, I would take shelter right now. If you're in Redding, you should be taking shelter for certain. Olivet, this is heading your way. Lebo, it's heading your way as well. So this is a dangerous storm. It has two different areas of rotation that I see now. And if you're in those areas, you should be taking shelter. If you're in Redding, please take shelter. If you're in Olivet, I would take shelter. If you're in Osage City, it might miss you just to the southwest, but the dangerous straight line winds certainly could still affect you. All right, so again, tornado warning continuing for Lyon County and also parts of Osage County for that storm. And we have reports earlier that this tornado was on the ground. So if you're in those areas, again, it's a storm with a history of producing a tornado. I have no reports of damage from this. I do have reports of damage in Junction City from what appears to be, there was at least a building that's partially collapsed in downtown Junction City. And we don't know if that is from wind or if it's from the extreme flooding that's going on. Most likely it's from wind. We had wind very strong there for several hours, as a matter of fact. So the possibility we'd have damage from wind is certainly possible. You don't see a whole lot of building collapses from flash flooding. It can happen, but most likely that's not what this is. All right, that hook echo near Redding is very impressive. If you are near Redding, please take shelter. Redding is not officially in the tornado warning. I'm asking you to take shelter. The weather, I'm sure if the Weather Service folks, if you're talking to them directly, they'd probably say, yeah, go ahead and take shelter. It's not a bad idea. You're right there by this thing, and you're probably at least getting a rear flank downdraft there in Redding right now. So if you're in Redding, please take shelter. That's a dangerous storm. That thing's really dangerous. And I really want to see you taking shelter there if you would, please. All right, let's look at there's a warning now for a bigger area under the severe storm warning for that. Well, let's see what they're mentioning for this. 70 mile-per-hour winds, considerable damage possible, and golf ball size hail. All right. Severe storm warning for Lyon and Osage counties till 9:15. Severe storm located north of Redding. And they say it is moving to the east at 15. Okay. Golf ball size hail, 70 mile-per-hour winds. And they're continuing the warning for Jefferson Douglas. That's for 60 mile-per-hour winds and hail the size of quarters. Flash flooding update from Junction City. Flash flooding still ongoing in Junction City. Over a foot of water reported on roadways and in parking lots. So very dangerous. This storm near Redding has a very, very impressive signature on radar. if that's not producing a tornado, it is, you know, it's just from a textbook, this is what you would show somebody and say, where's the tornado, to teach, you know, meteorologists where something might be, and you would say it's that. this is it right here. So if you're in Redding, that thing's dangerous. They're now saying 75 mile per hour winds are possible with this around Redding, and the warning goes across a big chunk of Osage County. So if you are in this area, you need to take shelter. If you're in that area, it's a severe storm warning. You stay inside. The tornado warning, yeah, there we go. I was just about to say they're going to extend that. There's no doubt. So there you go, Olivet. Now I can say it. Olivet, take shelter. You're in the path of a potential tornado. It's Doppler radar indicated. That's a hook echo. If you've lived in Kansas more than a year, you've probably had your favorite show interrupted enough times, you know what a hook echo looks like. That's it right there. That's a hook echo. So that's very strong rotation on this. I don't have reports of damage. This is a very rural area, but now we're on a collision course with the town of Olivet, would be in the path of this. It continues moving like it is. So let's read the text on this one. Again, this is Doppler radar indicated this time. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning producing a tornado. 4 miles northeast of Redding is the location on this, and it's going to be moving toward towns like Olivet. So if you're in Olivet and Arvonia, you should be taking shelter right now. If you're in Olivet, Arvonia, take shelter. Arvonia is just outside of the warning, but I would encourage you to go ahead and take shelter anyway if you're there. The town of Redding, you're no doubt getting very strong winds right now. I'll bet it's 70 or 80 miles per hour in Redding right now, and that's going to be moving to the east. They say 15 miles per hour to the east, but to me it looks like this thing's been slowly meandering more kind of southeast than due east. So if you're there in Olivet, you've got a couple of minutes before this arrives, please take shelter right now. All right, we'll check out the camera again. I'm going to zoom this thing back out, and we'll check out the camera from Emporia. Again, this is the closest one I have to that location that can actually see over there. So if we have a tornado, it's going to be in that area, kind of right there past the wind turbines is where it's going to be. That might be it in the middle there. Let me look at another monitor here that's got a little better resolution. Yeah, right there in the middle. I think that's it. So if you are in Olivet, it looks to me like there's a tornado there in the middle of that screen. It's rain wrapped. You're looking through extremely heavy rain. Right in the middle of that looks like a cone shape, and I believe there's a tornado in there right now. If it's not touching down, it could touch down at any moment. If you're in Olivet, please take shelter. If you're in Redding, I'm pretty sure you're taking shelter right now anyway, just staying inside away from this, because the winds outside in Redding are going to be powerful enough that nobody would go outside and check this out. I surely wouldn't think. But if you're in Olivet, now, from what I see there on this, that very well may be a funnel cloud or a tornado itself right there in the middle of that shot. And it's moving to the east-southeast at about 15 miles per hour. And that is still a very powerful, very dangerous storm that's moving, again, into Osage County now. So in the next few moments, you'll see Lyon County no longer in the situation. It'll become just an Osage County issue. So in Osage County, you're going to be dealing with this for a while. It's moving toward Olivet. I'm going to give you time of arrival here. So from the actual tornado itself toward Olivet, we'll be looking at this arriving at 9:14, Meridocene Valley at 9:35, the Unified School District office, and 9:35 in Melbourne. If it goes more of a straight east, let's take it northeast. We put it in Linden at 9:27 if it turned that direction. Sometimes they do. So in this case, it looks like Olivet. It's really on kind of a collision course with the town of Olivet at this time from what I see there. So let's go back to velocity and see what that looks like. This is still a very powerful storm. There are a lot of 80s and 90s in there. all these areas of bright orange. There's an 88, there's an 83. Yeah, wind's going the opposite direction there. That's a minus 41. So you have rotation. It's a broad area of rotation, but this stuff that's I'll erase that and draw it again. This is all moving 80 something miles per hour. That is very, very dangerous. And that'll be moving toward Olivet in the next few minutes here. And across the lake. All right, so Ottawa, you are going to be in the path of this maybe in a while. Burlington, this is all staying to the north of you. And then to the north, we still have the storm in Topeka, Shawnee County. Let's see if it's still considered to be severe. And the worst of that storm looks like it is most likely on the southeast side of town near Lake Shawnee. So around Lake Shawnee, most likely getting some damaging straight line winds right now. Looks like really the worst of that stayed across the south side of town. It kind of came up from the southwest and went from Lake Sherwood right across the Frito plant, and then headed over to the Lake Shawnee area. I'm going to check out and see if I got a wind gust report from the folks at Forbes Field. Let's see what how strong that might have gusted when it came through town. All right, here we go, Forbes Field. Wind gust at Forbes Field looks like 54 miles per hour. Not terrible, but certainly strong winds. All right, down to the south. This thing is by far the most dangerous storm we have. There's nothing else even close to this. Now, we had the tornado watch issued earlier, and I mentioned that we weren't going to see widespread rain everywhere, but there could be a couple of storms that are especially powerful, and this is the one. This is the one today. This storm right here, that's just to the northwest of Olivet, is a one that has a well-defined hook echo with it, and this thing could produce tornado anytime. We do have reports that it was on the ground earlier from storm spotters. I don't have reports of damage at this point from it, but certainly we certainly might. So it's going over Melbourne Lake in the next few minutes. If you have friends or family at Melbourne Lake, this is a good time to call and tell them to take shelter. I mean, right now. If you have anybody out there in an RV or a camper, they need to find a sturdy place to shelter for sure. A lot of lightning with this, of course. And let's check debris and see if anything's flying in this. Yeah, there might be debris in that. Okay, so this storm, this very dangerous storm just south of Osage City, is heading toward the town of Olivet. If you're in Olivet, you need to take shelter right now. Melbourne, this is just a few minutes away from you. It's been moving at roughly 15 miles per hour. If you're in the town of Melbourne, from what would be the debris there, if it is, you would be looking at arriving at Melbourne about 9:29. That may be even long. But we've had a forward motion on this of 15 miles per hour, so it's moving pretty slow, fortunately. But if you're in Olivet, you have less time. This thing's going to come toward town in really just a couple of minutes here. I'm going to try to check the camera again from Emporia and see if I'm having any more luck with this. And again, this is it's a time of day where it's hard to see these things. Yeah, I don't see it. All right, so the main story here is if you are there in Olivet, you need to take shelter right now, immediately, if you are there. I'm actually going to try the KDOT cameras and see if any of the KDOT cameras there along I-35 might have it. Sometimes they turn those cameras and give you a look at it. So let's try that. But again, Olivet, take shelter right now. If you're in Melbourne, this is really just a few miles away from you, and you should be taking shelter as well right now. So we're going to go down to the south here on the KDOT cameras, and sometimes they can turn these things toward the storms and give you a look. Doesn't always happen. There's the Ottawa rest stop, so no luck there. Nope. Okay. And how about from the north side of Emporia, right about here? These cameras, these are great cameras here. Yeah, that one in the upper left there, you can see that's where the storm would be, is that area right there. Another camera. That one's a still camera. This is east of Emporia. Mile marker 135. There's mile marker 130. Okay, no luck. All right, let's try the Emporia camera again, provided by folks at Valiant Fiber. And again, this is Doppler radar indicated. We had it as a confirmed tornado earlier. I'm going to see if they've mentioned this actually touching down. So that's where they say it touched down, is right here. They showed us touching down near Admire at 8:17 p.m. And then Junction City finally is getting a break from the rain. Okay, there's an update coming on the tornado warning here. All right, Shawnee County, they're letting the warning expire at 8:45. And the tornado warning is still going until 9:15. And it's still Doppler radar indicated at this point. All right. So again, Olivet, if you're in Olivet, if you're at Melbourne Lake, if you have friends or family at Melbourne Lake, call them and tell them to take shelter. If they don't have a way to get that information, make sure that you tell them. I think I may see the funnel cloud now. If it's not a tornado, it's probably the funnel cloud, but I think I can see it now. Let's go ahead and bring up the camera again. And we're looking at northeast. This is roughly 15 miles toward this thing. Kind of in the top left part of the image there. I'm going to step over to my higher resolution monitor so I can see it too. And that very well could be it. So if you're around Olivet, please take shelter. This is potentially a tornado. It could touch down at any time. We don't know for sure that it has. Storm spotters say they saw it on the ground a while ago. That doesn't mean it actually did touch down. Sometimes the storm spotters see it, over a hill or something, and maybe it doesn't get all the way to the ground. So you don't know 100%. Just because they say that it touched down, it doesn't always mean that it did. But if you're in Olivet, the most important thing here is you are in the path of a storm that could produce a tornado, and I strongly encourage you to take shelter right now. It's going to go right across Melbourne Lake, and again, it's shown signs of very strong rotation at several points here. And I'm looking through pictures from viewers that are sending in here. I want to see if anybody's got this thing maybe. I don't see it yet. But again, that is a dangerous looking storm. Still a hook echo, still has a strong comma shape to it, and that hook echo is very well defined. Moving right over Melbourne Lake in the next few moments. The velocity on this has been showing values in excess of 90 miles per hour at times, and you can just see it spinning there. I mean, it's just really obvious. Let's check. Some of the values are going in opposite directions here. There's a 57, and there's a 75. I'm going to check the wind turbines there and see what we've got. Sometimes the wind turbines can interact with this. I don't think there's one there. Take off the lightning. And I think the wind turbines are kind of southwest of this activity, so I don't think they're impacting this. All right, so I think we have an update coming in here on the tornado warning. What do we have? Tornado warning continues for Osage County, and they say it is still radar indicated, producing a tornado 4 miles northwest of Melbourne Lake, moving east at 15 miles per hour, impacting Olivet and Melbourne Lake. Take shelter. So that's what the Weather Service is saying with this. So Melbourne Lake, this is about to move over Melbourne Lake in the next few moments. If you are there, you should take shelter. There is a very well-defined rotation right there. That is super tight in that spot. There's a minus 48 right beside a, what do we got there? But it's minus 48 right beside a positive value. So we're going, the winds are going absolute opposite directions. And in that one spot right there, this is a nasty, nasty storm, folks. There's a significant chance this thing's touching down if it hasn't already. So Olivet, please take shelter. If you're in Olivet, please, please take shelter right now. If you're at Melbourne Lake, or if you have friends or family there, call them and let them know they need to take shelter right now. That is a dangerous storm. It has just a ton of rotation with it. And it is located, the most dangerous part of that, looks to me like it's right there. This is an area of winds that are probably 80 miles per hour, maybe even worse. But the tornado itself is this. It's going to be that. I'll put this into motion. You can see that rotation as it continues diving south and eastward. And the motion on this is, you know, Weather Service keeps saying it's east, but you know it's southeast. It's east southeast. It's not moving east. So I don't know, but it's moving east southeast. If you're at Melbourne Lake, or if you're in Olivet, you got to take shelter right now, please. That's where this most dangerous part of the storm is. All right, I'm going to go to WIBW.com here, and I want to see if we have any viewer pictures of this thing. I didn't see any coming in, but we can fish through it and see what there might be real quick. So again, Olivet, Melbourne, take shelter right now if you are in either of those two communities or close by. Osage City, it looks like things are calming down for you at this point. Now check this one out. This is looking north from Lebo. This is a classic mothership look is what this is going to be. You can see the rotation, the striations in there, the whole thing spinning. So that's the storm. This is near Allen earlier. That's near Lebo. That's Rossville. Scrolling down through a couple more of these, some hail. Looking to see if I get anybody. That looks like the tornado. Junction City, that's the building that's partially collapsed. That's a funnel cloud near Admire. That's what that is right there. There's some tree damage. Manhattan storms were forming a while ago. And a rainbow. Okay, so that's going to be everything that I want to see now. I just want to see if anybody had a picture of the thing down. And right now, the rotation, the hook echo is starting to fill in some. So hopefully this thing starts to weaken, but even if it's weakening, there's still a big area right here where the winds are still 70 to 80 miles per hour, where all that orange is located. This area right here, those are very strong winds. And again, the potential tornado most likely going to be right there, and this is moving right over Melbourne Lake toward Olivet and toward the town of Melbourne itself. It's going to go across Highway 31 and Highway 75. Actually going to cross Highway 75 in just a few minutes here. All right, haven't had a confirmation of this thing touching down in a while, but looking at the radar there, this is a dangerous storm. There's still very strong winds in this. They're likely at least 70 miles per hour. At times it's showing as high as 80 miles per hour. If it's a tornado in this, it's right there north of Olivet and going almost right over Milford Lake here in the Melbourne Lake in just the next few minutes here. All right, I'm going to take the radar off so you can actually see the location of that. So let's draw it on. Here's the area of the damaging winds. Here's the tornado. And if I take off the radar imagery, you can see there's an area of damaging winds right on top of the lake. And then the tornado itself, the rotation from that is going to be kind of right up in here near 277th and South Fairlawn is where that would be at this point. So again, this is a dangerous storm. It's almost surely put down a tornado at some point here. Now, I can see the winds are picking up near Lawrence at this time. Let's see what we've got with that now. That area of bright red we saw just a moment ago in the velocity heading for Clinton Lake. That is going to have to be upgraded. You got winds in here that are 68 to 70 miles per hour, and that is moving to the east-northeast. Right at Lawrence. So if you're in Lawrence, you have very strong winds coming at you. That's come away from Topeka, and that is spinning too. That area has some green at the top of it. That area is rotating as it's going toward Lawrence. It would not be a total surprise to see a tornado warning over there now. All right, check out the view from Menninger Hill. I'm going to try to point it that way and see if I can see that thing that's kind of spinning its way over toward Lawrence, away from Topeka at this point. can't see it that well. All right, but even zoomed out, you can see how well this rotation is held together as it's moving into Olivet and across Melbourne Lake right now. So the town of Olivet and Melbourne Lake, these areas are in danger right now. That's where the tornado warning is in place. I'm going to check this out and see if we have an update on the tornado warning. And let's see. The severe storm warning for Shawnee County got dropped. They continued the warning for Douglas, and that was a couple of minutes ago. I really think they're going to have to upgrade that to a higher wind. Okay. And all right. So potential tornado still here, heading for Melbourne and Olivet. This is the most dangerous area right there. And this has the potential to touch down anytime. This has been rotating for maybe an hour now. Let's go ahead and back it up in time and see how far back it started. Yeah, about an hour is when this started there near Allen. And you can see it just started to spin a little bit, and then it really ramped up. I think it went back more like 2 hours. Let's go back 2 hours. Go back here in time. It was Allen. This is it. This is when we started this whole thing. We started rotating right about there. Is when it really got rough. And then started diving southeast or east-southeast toward Allen and Admire. And then past Reading. And then now it's over Olivet and Melbourne Lake. And this, at a minimum, has strong straight-line winds. All right, new warning issued here for Anderson, Coffee, Franklin, and Osage counties for winds to 70 miles per hour and ping-pong ball-size hail. So that's going to be for this storm. So they're warning out ahead of it, saying it's going to be a severe storm warning at least. Whether or not they continue with the tornado warning is going to be a different question. So right now, we have a tornado warning until 9:15, goes for 15 more minutes, and most likely we will see that rotation get out of that warning polygon before 15 minutes. So if we're going to see a new tornado warning issued farther into Osage County, that would probably happen within the next maybe 5 or 10 minutes at the most. But right now, Melbourne, Lake Melbourne, and Olivet, these areas should all be taking shelter right now. The area in Olivet would not surprise me at all if somebody in Olivet gets a 90 mile per hour wind gust report. That would not surprise me at all. I'm going to look and see what sort of storm spotter reports we've got so far today. There's an 80 from Grandview Plaza is the highest. We had the tornado touchdown at least once reported there, where the tornado symbol is located there along I-135, that Kansas Turnpike. And then we had a wind gust report over at the National Weather Service office. They say they had a 61 mile per hour wind gust. And then over to the west in Junction City, we had wild flooding. We had a bunch of hail, and we had winds gusting to 80 miles per hour. 84, I think, was the highest one. There's a 75. There are updates coming in on my tornado warning. Okay, the tornado warning for Osage County will expire at 9. They're letting it go. The storm moved out of the area before let it expire. Okay, let me go back there again. The tornado warning for Osage County that goes till 9, but I think that is the old warning. I think there's another warning out ahead of it goes till 9:15. Yeah. Okay. So the original warning, they're going to let this one go. That's over here. That warning, of course that goes because the storm is past that. The rotating part's well past that. The other part of the warning goes till 9:15, and the leading edge of it is this is the edge of the warning, but the rotation is almost out of that. It's right over Melbourne Lake at this time. So if you're there in Melbourne and Olivet, you should already be taking shelter. I really hope you are. We will see in a few moments here if they continue that tornado warning. What happens sometimes, they're doing that here, is they'll put a tornado warning in the middle, and they put a severe storm warning track around it, kind of surround it, and that's what we've got right here. So we will see in a few minutes here if they issue a new tornado warning. If they do, it will be something like this. It would be kind of a Waverly, Melbourne, Williamsburg, Homewood area if they issue a new one. So that is a possibility. And I believe that there's a, the National Weather Service Topeka goes to Franklin Anderson. Yeah, they do. Okay, so that will be one warning. That's possible. They may issue a new warning there. Okay, so are they killing the other one too? Okay. They are dropping both the tornado warnings. Okay, so they see it's moving out of that box. The box is going until 9:15. So they are dropping the tornado warning that was going until 9:15. They dropped the other one for 9, and now they're dropping the other one as well. So we'll give an update here on TV real quick, and then we'll go back to TV program, okay? First of all, this tornado warning that's confirmed up in Iowa, right there. I won't spend a lot of time on that, I just saw that, and it's interesting, so I'll pass it along. We've got winds 60 miles per hour going to Lawrence right now. We have winds that are 70 miles per hour going to Melbourne, Waverly, Williamsburg, and Harris. On the velocity mode here, I want to show you that there is still spin to this thing. So if you are around Waverly, if you're in Williamsburg, Melbourne, these areas, you should still be staying inside. I'm going to continue the live stream on WIBW.com, YouTube, and Facebook. And if we have another tornado warning come up with this, we'll come back on TV as well. But right now, they are taking this down. It's 70 mile per hour winds and ping pong ball size hail heading toward Waverly and Williamsburg. If we have a tornado warning and I come back on, it's going to be you guys. If you want to continue watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and WIBW.com, I'm still right there. We'll keep going on and on with this. So, Bridge, if you guys can go ahead and put it back on, put CBS back up. I'll continue with the live stream here, and just keep your TV here with us. We'll keep you safe and informed. Thanks for watching us. We really appreciate it. All right, thanks, guys. I will continue to broadcast this here. Again, we had 61 mile per hour winds reported at the airport in Topeka. The most dangerous thing we have is this. And, I'm not going to second guess anybody for dropping this warning at this point. But if we were to see a tornado warning issued, another one, it's going to be that. It's going to be the southeast part of Osage County. And if we have that, what you're going to hear in my office is a loud sound that goes whoop, and that is my bug and crawl system that we use on TV. If you've seen the county map that comes on with the warning information at the bottom of the TV, I have that system set to make a really loud, obnoxious, like tornado siren sound to make sure I don't miss it. Because if a tornado warning is issued, clearly, I don't want to miss that no matter what I'm doing. Most likely I would be paying full attention, but if for some reason it happens and surprises me, that's what it's going to be. So if you hear that sound, you're watching me on TV or watching me online or whatever it might be, you can already know what that sound means before I say anything else. If you hear whirr, it either means new tornado warning, or it means an update on an old tornado warning, or it means tornado warning's been canceled. But if it says the word tornado somewhere in the thing, I want it to screech at me loud enough that I do not miss it. I want to know everything about it. All right, so let's check out more weather pictures here. There we go. So this was the storm cloud. I saw this earlier. This is just amazing. It's 50,000 feet tall. That's how the thing looks. Let's see if I can clear this off. And this is you can submit pictures on WIBW.com. Go to the weather page, and let's see what it says here. It says weather pics. You can submit pictures there, and I appreciate that. Now, if you give me a picture on Facebook and tag me, or Twitter, or even email, if you send me something that way, I have to get you to sign a copyright release to use it. Right. So if you just send it through our website this way, you already have to approve that same stuff, so I can use it right away. So if you want to share a picture with us that, you know, for us to use on TV or however, you know, I really need you to try to put it through our website or through the app on your phone. Otherwise, like for the Westmoreland tornado, the great video we have of that on YouTube, you know, the fellow was nice enough to agree to you know, send back a signed document. All right, that was like the tornado there close to Emporia a little while ago. All right, hang on. All right, Bridge, you guys hear me? I think that's the tornado right there that's near Emporia, about 7:40. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and shut the stream down and get ready for the 10 o'clock show. So this storm that's in southeast Osage County still has winds to 60, maybe 70, but it looks like it is probably less of a problem. So let's go ahead and shut everything down. And thanks, folks, for watching us. And we'll see you on 13 News at 10.